What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full slate of college basketball and NBA action here on Wednesday, February 25th. I'll give you my favorite picks on the side and over-under on each game. We're going to break down the biggest college basketball games of the night. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock. So, guys, as a thank you to me, take that 10th of a second and slam that like button. It only takes just 1/10 of a second to click that button, and it does a ton for me. Helps get these videos promoted out there on YouTube, helps keep me motivated every single night to grind out one of these videos, and lets me know that you appreciate the content that we're bringing to the table here every single day. Also, get down below and subscribe to the channel. Check that little subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It'll keep you from missing out on these videos that I'm posting here every single day, and it helps show me that the channel is growing. Channel growth is a big metric on YouTube. Really appreciate all the new subscribers. I'm getting a lot of them lately, and it's also absolutely free. So take a second and check and see if you're subscribed. Also, comment on the video with anything you want to say about today's picks, about yesterday's picks, about anything you're looking at across the sporting world. Any questions you have, I will try to answer them. If I cannot, I can reach out to the premium handicappers over there at stumpthespread.com and see what they have to say on the matter. They're a pretty opinionated bunch, so I always expect them to have some sort of take. And sometimes you ask questions I don't know, like I don't know anything about hockey or UFC, for example. So definitely want to hop in on those and take advantage of a pretty nice resource there. Also, guys, you got to check the pinned comment throughout the day. That's the top comment below the video. That's where you'll find my favorite picks every single day. You'll also find a link in that pinned comment over to stumpthespread.com so you can check out all the great stuff they have over there. Free picks, the free email newsletter, and the premium picks. Definitely do that, but you'll also find my massive lock of the day and my dog of the day in that pinned comment. So make sure you're checking that pinned comment every single day. In terms of a recap, guys, we're recording a little bit early so we get to take advantage of the good lines. We are off to a good start on the day, though. Cleveland looking pretty good. Boston, that was a weird one because of Jaylen Brown getting scratched late. So Boston -5.5, it just becomes a regular play. The Hornets on the money line become our massive lock of the day. We'll see how those games go. The Pelicans +2.5. They're off to an amazing start there against the Warriors, so that one's looking great. We already cashed Miami of Ohio -8.5 over there on the college basketball side. It was a little bit closer than expected, but it was a 10-point win there for the Red Hawks. They jump out to a 20+ point lead there in the first half. This squad just absolutely destroying everybody out there in the MAC. We got Toronto +1.5 as the dog of the day. They got to make a little bit of a comeback. We'll see how that goes. And we have the Charlotte Hornets there, as our massive lock of the day now. And right now here at time of recording, I believe they have the lead there over the Bulls. No, it's tied now, and the Bulls made a little bit of a comeback, but it's very early in the second quarter. So we'll see how things work out down the stretch in that one. Let's go ahead and dive in now. We got a ton of games to cover. Make sure you guys have hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're getting over there to stumpthespread.com, checking out the free picks tab, checking out that free email list. You definitely got to get on there and take a look at those premium pick packages and see if there's one that's right for you. Now, let's get after it. First up on a very exciting college basketball slate, we got the number 15 St. John's Red Storm going on the road to taking the UConn Huskies. St. John's comes into this game fresh off another win. They took down Creighton 81-52, so a blowout win there at home. They did not fall victim to the look-ahead spot whatsoever. The Red Storm, they came into this season, they looked a little bit overvalued, really. They were not playing as amazing. They were losing some games, albeit against mostly tough opponents, but they've bounced back in a huge way and have been playing great. This is their second game of the season against UConn. They won the first one 81-72. We were on St. John's in that game. That was a technically neutral court game there at Madison Square Garden. Well, St. John's took care of business in what is really a de facto home game for them. This is an elite level rebounding team, very good defensively, and they are 36th in the nation in total offense. So a lot to like about St. John's. The Huskies, they come in this game 25-3 on the season, 15-2 in the Big East. They're ranked number 6 in the nation. They're coming off a nice little win there at Villanova, getting the 73-63 win over a team that's been pretty decisively the third best team in the conference. They're clearly a step above teams like Seton Hall, and Creighton, and DePaul. So we'll see what the Huskies can do in this one. This team really depends on being able to play some pretty physical, grinded out defense. They're only 124th in the nation in total offense. Their rebounding numbers aren't necessarily off the charts good. In their loss against St. John's earlier this season, they shot 47% from three. They did a decent job a terrible job, only going 5 of 12 from the free throw line and getting a little bit destroyed on the boards. But we did see St. John's shoot 31 free throws versus the 12 for UConn, and I don't expect as big of a discrepancy in this game. Also, though, St. John's did not shoot the ball well from three. Only 5 of 19. That's 26%. We'll see what goes on in this one. UConn are 4.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 146.5 in this game. St. John's, they're good on the road, guys. They're 6-2 against the spread playing away from home. 15-11 to the under. UConn, 3-12 against the spread playing at home. 15-13 to the over. I don't think we have much of a choice here, guys. I think we got to take St. John's and the points. Even though this is a revenge spot for the Huskies, even though I think they might get a little bit of the home cooking kind of treatment there from the refs, I don't think it's going to be enough. I think St. John's takes us down to the absolute last possession, worst case scenario, and getting 4.5 points, definitely not something we can pass up. Next on the docket, we're headed to the SEC. We've got the number 7 Florida Gators going on the road to take on the Texas Longhorns. Florida, 21-6 on the season, 12-2 in the SEC, a nice little 2-game lead there in the conference. They've been just running roughshod over everybody recently, winning 7 in a row. They're coming off a 94-75 blowout win there at Ole Miss, so things are definitely going their direction. They've got a slew of wins over ranked opponents this season. This Florida team's looking pretty nuts. They've got a solid leading scorer. They're 20th in the nation in total offense. They are 3rd in the entire nation, guys, in rebounds per game, just raw rebounding numbers. That's kind of nuts. They're a good defensive team as well. They can get up and down if they need to. They can grind it out defensively if they need to, and they've been winning these games decisively lately. I mean, their last kind of close game, they won by 9 over then number 25 Kentucky. So this team's looking really, really good. A little bit of a road test here incoming as they head to Texas to take on the Longhorns, who at 8-6 in SEC play have not necessarily had the easiest season per se. I don't believe they've played Florida this season yet. No, they have not. They're coming off a 91-80 loss at Georgia. They will be back home for this game, so that does help. They've been playing some really close games against some kind of concerning opponents. I mean, beating LSU by only 3, that's not exactly a decisive win. They beat South Carolina by only 9. We'll see what they can do here against an elite opponent. Dalen Swain is a solid leading scorer. 18 points, 3 assists while shooting 58% from 3. Those are very, very good numbers. Texas is 26th in the nation total offense. They are 69th in total rebounding. We'll see what they can do here defensively. I am a little bit worried about that. They're getting 6.5 points here at home. That's got to feel nice. They've got a total of 159.5 here. Florida is 7-1 against the spread on the road this season. They're 16-10-1 to the under. Texas is 8-7 against spread at home, 17-9 to the over. We do have to note that Florida does have Arkansas on deck, so maybe a little bit of a look ahead spot here for the Gators. We'll see. 6.5 points is a little bit enticing, but I am going to take Florida here playing on the road anyway. I do think the Gators find a way to win this one comfortably. They're just the better team overall. Like, they could outscore Texas if Texas wants to get out and run. Their defense is going to slow that down a little bit anyway, and they are going to crush the Longhorns on the board. So give me the Gators here playing on the road. Rolling right along here, we've got the Maryland Terrapins going on the road to take the number 12 Nebraska Cornhuskers. Maryland has not had a great season. They're 4-12 in ACC play. They come into this game fresh off a 64-60 win over Washington, so we'll definitely take that. We were on Maryland in the points in that one, and it did work out for us. But over the course of the season, this team has not had a very good time. We'll see what they can do here against Nebraska, a team that's just a few spots ahead of them in the conference standings. David Colts is a decent leading scorer and a decent point guard. This team, though, 329th in the nation total offense. They're not a great defensive team at all, and their rebounding is going to be a problem in this game as they take on the Cornhuskers, who've had a great season. They're 12-4 in Big Ten play. They're 12th in the nation. They're 23-4. They're coming off an 87-64 beatdown there against Penn State, a bounce back after a tough loss there in a rock fight against Iowa. They don't have any major look-ahead spot in this game. They do have their trip to California on deck where they go to take on USC and UCLA, so we'll see if that bothers the Cornhuskers here at all. This is a dominant defensive team. Giving up 65.6 points per game is crazy. They can score it. Price Sandfort's a decent leading scorer. Sam Hoiberg is a good point guard. This team has plenty of skill at all the skill positions that you would want them to be good at, so there's a lot to like here about Nebraska. Now, they are at home for this game. That helps for sure. They are 17.5 point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 141.5. Maryland is 5-5 against spread on the road, 16-11 to the over. Nebraska is 7-8-1 against spread at home, 18-9 to the under. Nebraska, they can blow out some teams. I mean, they're coming off a 23-point win over Penn State. They beat Northwestern by 19. They beat Rutgers by only 12 in that game. So we'll see. This is a bit of a tough spot. I will lean just slightly towards the Cornhuskers here at -17.5, but not a lot of conviction behind this play. It could be a look-ahead spot for them with that California trip on deck. Next up, guys, we're headed back out to the SEC. We got the Georgia Bulldogs going on the road to taking the number 25 Vanderbilt Commodores. Georgia, at 19-8 on the season and 7-7 in SEC play, still has some work to do. They are playing really, really well right now. They're coming off back-to-back good wins. They went into Kentucky and got the 86-78 win. And their last time out, they were at home for this one. They took down Texas 91-80. that's a solid win. We're liking a lot of what we're seeing from Georgia right now. Jeremiah Wilkinson is a solid leading scorer. Marcus Millender is a good point guard. This team is sixth in the nation in total offense, putting up over 90 per game. Their rebounding numbers are good. Their defensive numbers, maybe not off the charts good, but for a team that likes to get out and run, they are pretty decent. It's also not a look-ahead spot for them. They have South Carolina on deck. So we'll see what they can do here against Vanderbilt. I don't believe they've played the Commodores this season, so we'll see how it goes. Vanderbilt 21-6 on the season. This team's ran a little bit hot and cold at times. They are 8-6 in conference play. They're fresh off of another loss. They've lost back-to-back games here, losing a 1-point heartbreaker there to Mizzou, and then losing 69-65 against Tennessee. That was pretty tough. We do notice that the Commodores do have Kentucky on deck, and this one a trip to Kentucky, so I don't think they're really in a position to have look-ahead spots, but we'll see. Tyler Tanner is a monster leading scorer for this team, 18.5 points per game, also 5.5 assists, while shooting 48% from the field is elite. This squad is very, very good offensively, 14th in the nation, putting up over 87 per game. Their defensive numbers are good. Their rebounding numbers are acceptable, so we'll see what they can do. They are at home for this game. We've got a total of 167.5. The Commodores are 9.5 point favorites. Georgia is 5-3 against the spread on the road, 14-13 to the over. Vanderbilt is 7-8 against the spread at home, 15-12 to the under. This is another spot I think is pretty tough. The Bulldogs have been playing so well recently. They are on the road. That can make things a little bit tough, but they've been a good road team. So I will take the Georgia Bulldogs here, getting nearly double-digit points. Do I think they win this game? Probably not, but given the 2 wins they've just had, I think they can give the Commodores a real game, and 9.5 is not something to turn your nose up at. Hey guys, before we jump in and cover the rest of this very busy college basketball slate here on Wednesday, we got to shout out the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, guys, our premium members are getting daily NBA and college basketball action, and NHL is back. Obviously, UFC is going on all the time, but NHL being back is a big, big deal. This will be our first day back since the Olympics break, and things went into the Olympics break running pretty freaking hot. Now, we have a bunch of games live here on the 24th. Toledo, Miami, Marquette, Kentucky, St. Louis. That one's looking like a tough one, but a couple wins definitely looking very, very likely in there. Marquette getting 3.5 points. Looks like they might win that game straight up. Miami, I have a lot of faith in them. Toledo has a big lead. Kentucky's playing well, so we'll see what happens there. And we've also got the Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors, so looking like a pretty solid day there for the premium members over at StumpTheSpread.com. And keep in mind, guys, those premium picks are not always or not even usually going to match what you see from me here in the videos, because I'm not the premium handicapper over there at Stump the Spread for NHL, UFC, anything like that. We have a team of experienced cappers covering all of those games, putting a crazy amount of work in on a daily basis. So definitely get over there to StumpTheSpread.com and take advantage of all the premium stuff. But you got to check out the free stuff as well, guys. It's been off the charts good. That free, the free picks tab is always a great resource, but the email list, guys, I cannot just emphasize enough how important it is that you get on that email list, because there's so much great information and it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to StumpTheSpread.com, set up a free account. They're going to ask you for your name and your email address. That's it. You get one email straight to your inbox every single day, and that email is going to include regular free picks on things like NBA, college basketball, NHL, but it's also going to start including kind of niche stuff like preseason MLB, as well as huge write-ups, and this is the really valuable stuff, guys, huge write-ups on golf every single solitary week. Huge write-ups on NASCAR every single week. There's a big NASCAR race. And guys, those golf write-ups have been absolutely pure gold over the course of this PGA season so far. They have been absolutely killing it, catching some big, big underdog plays. And we're talking, plays for guys to, lead after a certain round, or, finish in the top 20, finish in the top 10, finish in the top 5, win outright, stuff like that. And they have done really, really well. So definitely make sure that you're getting in on that email list. It's really easy to sign up, and it's very much worth your while. Also, while you're over there at StumpTheSpread.com, check out a Stump the Spread hoodie. They're under the shop tab. We're selling them right now for $39.99. That is at cost. It's not going to get any cheaper than that, or we'll be straight up losing money on those hoodies. We basically just want to get them out there to anybody who wants them. That $39.99 includes free shipping, and if you order one, it can be to your residence in as little as 7 days, or even less. We had somebody get one after 3 days, which was nuts to me the other day. So definitely hop in there and pick up a Stump the Spread hoodie if you are interested. Also, definitely get below and click that little join button if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from me here every single day. That will sign you up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members, they get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, guys, they get access to our members only giveaways. Every single Monday, and Thursday now. So 2 giveaways every single week. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie with the name of every single YouTube channel member on a big wheel right up here live on the screen. We spin that wheel live on the videos on Monday and Thursday, and whoever it lands on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie of their size mailed straight to their address of choice. We love doing those giveaways every single week. Big shout out to all the YouTube channel members, guys. You're the ones making this thing, a big part of this thing possible. I'm getting support from you guys every single solitary month. So really, really appreciate you and appreciate everybody watching these videos. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're getting over to stumpthespread.com. Get on that free email list. Check out the free picks and check out the premium stuff if that's something you might be interested in. And now let's dive back in. We've got a bunch more college basketball games and some NBA games to cover. Next up, we're looking at the Butler Bulldogs going on the road to take on the Villanova Wildcats. Butler comes into this game 15-13 on the season, 6-11 out there in Big East play. They have won their last 2 games in a row, though. They got to feel good about that, taking down Georgia and taking down Xavier. Both those games were fairly close, but hey, a win is a win, and this Butler team could use all the wins they could possibly get. They have already played Villanova this season. They ended up losing that game 85-67, but that was an awful long time ago. The Bulldogs are around top 100 in the nation total offense. They're a decent but not great defensive team and a decent but not great rebounding team. Finley Bizjack has been having a good season. Michael Ajayi might be the better player on this team, though, so we'll see what he can do on the road here against Villanova. Now, the Wildcats, they come into this game 21-6 on the season. They're a solid third in the Big East. Clearly not as good as UConn and St. John's, but clearly better than teams like Seton Hall and Creighton. Villanova, over the course of this season, I mean, they've been playing well recently for sure, although they are in a bounce back spot off that 73-63 loss against UConn. Like I said, this team just isn't quite at the same level of those teams, although, they've got some solid players. Their season-long numbers are okay. They're a good defensive team, not great on the glass, and their offensive numbers, while not elite, are decent. So we'll see what they can do here against Butler. The last time these two teams faced each other, Villanova shot 33% from 3 and went 14 of 20 from the free throw line. We saw Butler, they went 13 of 14 from the free throw line, only shot 22% from 3, and did have a little edge there on the boards. The Wildcats are 9.5 point favorites at home in this game. We've got a total of 146.5. Butler is 4-5 against the spread on the road, 14-13-1 to the over. Villanova is 8-7 against the spread at home, 16-11 to the over. The Wildcats are in a pretty big look-ahead spot. They head to St. John's after this game, and that is a small, not a major reason, but a small reason why I do like Butler here getting those 9.5 points. Do I think they're going to win this game straight up? No. Do I think they have what it takes to keep this thing to single digits? I do. I don't know if this one's going to make the pin common or not, but I do think we could see Villanova maybe take their eye off the ball for just long enough to let Butler make this one close. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Xavier Musketeers going on the road to take on the Providence Friars. Now, Xavier, they're 13-14 on the season. They're fresh off a second straight loss. They just lost at Butler 80-75, so that one probably doesn't feel great. Maybe they're excited about the fact that they're facing a team they already beat 97-84 earlier this year, but there hasn't been a lot of good news for Xavier. They're 5-11 in conference play. Trey Carroll, 18, 19 points per game, shooting over 50% from the field. I'd be a little bit surprised if we see him not transfer in the offseason, but we'll see what happens. This squad, not good defensively at all, giving up nearly 80 points per game, and that's what sunk them against Butler. They gave up 92 against Villanova. They gave up 88 against Marquette, albeit in a win. They did keep things close against St. John's, but got blown out by UConn, so we'll see what they can do here. They are playing on the road, which can be a little bit rough. They're heading to take on the Providence Friars, who at 5-11 also in conference play and 12-15 overall, have not had the season of their dreams. They are coming off a 71-68 win at DePaul, so that has to feel pretty good. They're an elite level offensive team, 17th in the nation in total offense. Decent rebounding team, just the defensive numbers are not very good. That's probably been the biggest Achilles heel for this team over the course of the season. Now, the last time they faced Xavier, it was a home game for the Musketeers. Obviously, it's a home game for the Friars. We saw Providence really struggle shooting the ball from the three-point line. Xavier did not have that problem. They shot the lights out in this game. We did see Providence have a small edge there on the boards. We'll see what happens in this one. Providence, they're 6.5 point favorites at home. We've got a total of 169.5. Xavier, 4-5 against spread on the road, 19-8 to the over. Providence, 8-6 against spread at home, 19-8 to the over themselves. 169.5 is a pretty freaking big number, guys, but I don't think it's unattainable. You could talk me into over in this game, but better than that, I'll take Providence here playing at home. I'll take a -6.5. I don't think that's too many points. It's a lot, don't get me wrong, but I do think we see the Friars figure things out here and win at home. Cruising through these games, we're looking at the South Florida Bulls heading to Rice to take on the Owls out there in the American. South Florida, they're 19-8 on the season. They're 11-3 in the American, which puts them a game and a half over Tulsa and Wichita State. They're coming off a win over Memphis, an 87-66 blowout win there over the Tigers. So well played there. This team has been amazing offensively this season and on the boards. 13th in the nation in total offense, 7th in the nation total rebounding. It doesn't get a whole lot better than that. We'll see what they can do here against Rice. They will have to go on the road for this one. The Owls are 11-16 on the season, 5-9 in conference play. They do have a solid leading score here, but it has not been enough to keep them from being 250th in the nation in total offense. Their defensive numbers are not good. The rebounding numbers are surprisingly solid, but this team is way too ISO heavy, around 400th in the nation in total assists. I struggle to see them keeping this game very competitive, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, they are at home. They're getting 10.5 points. We've got a total of 157.5. South Florida, guys, is 6-4 against the spread on the road and 13-13 to the over-under. Rice is 7-5 against spread at home, 16-9 to the over. South Florida does have Tulane on deck, but I don't look at that as too big of a concern. Rice has Temple on deck. Obviously, they're not a team that has look-ahead spots. Give me South Florida to win this one walking away. I think they win this by 15 to 20 points. I don't think we're going to see this game be very competitive for very long. Next on the docket, we got the Pittsburgh Panthers going on the road to take on the Stanford Cardinals out there in the ACC. Pittsburgh, they're on this trip out to the West Coast. They face Stanford, and then they face Cal. They are coming off a win. A 73-68 win over Notre Dame isn't anything too special, but every conference win for Pittsburgh this season has been pretty special. They're only 3-11 in conference play. This team lacks a solid leading scorer. They're 360th in the nation total offense. Their rebounding numbers are bad. Their defensive numbers aren't great. I struggle to find a lot of positives for this team, and going out west isn't really going to make things any easier on them. The Stanford Cardinals are only 5-9 in conference play, 16-11 overall. They have lost back-to-back games, losing at Wake Forest in a close one and then at California in a relatively close one, but now they're back home. They're going to face Pitt, then SMU. They've got a pretty reasonable schedule to close out the season, but this is not a team we're going to see going dancing. We do like, there's talent on this roster for sure. 236 in the nation total offense isn't great. 305th in total rebounding is also not ideal, but their defense is actually pretty okay. The Cardinals are 8.5 point favorites at home in this game. We've got a total of 136.5. Pittsburgh, 3-5 against spread on the road, 14-12-1 to the over. Stanford's 8-8 against the spread at home, 17-10 to the under. That's not a very big number. I would maybe lean just slightly towards the over, but better than that, give me Stanford here playing at home. I think Pittsburgh's going to have a pretty rough time, going to the West Coast. That travel spot is not easy for anyone, and I think the Panthers might not love it out there. Give me the Cardinals here to get the win and cover. Now, guys, out to the WCC, we've got the Portland Pilots heading on the road to take on number 9 Gonzaga. Portland, they are 12-17 on the season, 5-11 in conference play this year, but they knocked off Gonzaga earlier this season, getting the insane 87-80 win there. It was a home game for the Pilots, and this team has not been great this season. Joel Foxwell leads the way with 16 points and 7 assists per game, but this is not a team that's anywhere close to Gonzaga's level, but this is basketball, guys, and on any given night, a team can just pop off and make it happen, and they did make it happen there against Gonzaga. They won by 7. They jumped out to a 6-point lead at halftime and just held the fort the rest of the way. It was pretty impressive stuff. They shoot 44% from 3, 7 of 16, nothing too insane. They had a free throw discrepancy of -6, so the Zags actually shot more free throws than them in this game. We did see Portland out-rebound Gonzaga by 5. That was pretty impressive. They turned the ball over 17 times and still won. That was pretty freaking crazy. The Zags only shot 40% from the field and 33% from 3. So we are about to see a Gonzaga team that's in a revenge spot. The Bulldogs are number 9 in the country. They're 27-2 overall, 15-1 in WCC play. That only puts them a single game ahead of St. Mary's and Santa Clara. They do play St. Mary's at the very end of this season, so we'll see what happens there. Over the course of the year, obviously the Zags have been amazing. 19th in the nation total offense, 32nd in total rebounding. They didn't exactly have the easiest time in the non-conference. I mean, I guess they did okay, but that win against Creighton doesn't exactly look so special anymore, and they got absolutely destroyed, losing by 40 against Michigan, so we'll see what they can do in this one. They are 26.5 point favorites at home. We've got a total of 149.5. Portland is only 2-10 against the spread on the road this year, 15-12 to the under. Gonzaga is 6-7 against spread at home, 19-10 to the under. I mean, the last time we saw these two teams face each other, we saw 167 total points. So you could, talk yourself into a potential over here, but I think we see Gonzaga come out with their hair on fire in this one, even though it's a bit of a look-ahead spot. But even if they do that, guys, are they going to win this game by 26? And they're going to win by 27 points to cover this number. That is an awful lot. I know Portland is atrocious playing on the road. This is a hard spot to pass up all those points. Give me the Pilots getting 26.5, but I'm staying away from this one, despite the fact the Bulldogs are in a look-ahead spot with that meeting at St. Mary's on deck. Next up, back out to the SEC, we've got the Mississippi State Bulldogs heading to number 17 Alabama to take on the Crimson Tide. Mississippi State, 13-14 on the season, 5-9 in conference play. Not the year they had in mind. They had won 2 in a row, taking down Ole Miss and a big win over Auburn, but then they went to South Carolina their last time out and lost that one 97-89. We'll see what they can do here against Alabama. They kept it vaguely competitive, losing 97-82 in a home game there against Alabama earlier this season, so didn't keep it quite as close as they would have liked. Obviously, Josh Hubbard's had a good season, 22 points per game, 4 assists. He's helped this team be semi-competitive, but their defense is terrible. Their rebounding is great, but their offense is just not quite good enough to be outscoring opponents when you're giving up nearly 80 points per game. So we'll see what they can do here against Alabama. The Crimson Tide, like I said, 17th in the nation. They're 10-4 in conference play, 2 games back of Florida. They're doing what they can to make this thing close. They have won their last 6 in a row. They're coming off a 90-83 win at LSU. They're back home for this one. They do have a trip to number 22 Tennessee on deck, so maybe it's a slight look-ahead spot. LeBaron Philin Jr. has been awesome. He's been great this season. He was incredible in that Arkansas win. He played really, really well. Dude shooting over 50% from the field. He's looked really, really good. This Alabama team is 3rd in the nation total offense, 19th in total rebounding. Not a great defensive team necessarily, but they can absolutely light up the scoreboard. That's why they're 14.5-point favorites here. At home, we've got a total of 174.5. Mississippi State, though, they are 5-3 against the spread on the road this season, 14-13 to the over. Alabama's only 4-9 against the spread at home. They are 14-11-1 to the over. I'm not going to take over 174.5. That's just too big of a number. Let's look at what these two teams did against each other earlier this season. It was honestly a fairly competitive game. Mississippi State was only down by 2 there at halftime. Alabama literally ran away with the game late. They only shot 35% from 3. Mississippi State shot only 37% from the field. Maybe we see them improve on that number a little bit. And with the Crimson Tide in a look-at spot, I actually like Mississippi State here getting 14.5 points. That's a pretty big number. You could wait around until closer to game time, maybe get a slightly better number. I do think the Bulldogs have what it takes to make this a real game. Staying in the SEC for this one, we got the Texas A&M Aggies heading to number 20 Arkansas to take on the Razorbacks. Texas A&M, they're 19-8 on the season, not having the easiest year in the SEC, but a 9-5 record is good enough for 5th place right now. They're coming off back-to-back wins. They took down Ole Miss and then went into Oklahoma, not the easiest place to play, and came away with the 75-71 win. They've got kind of a tough schedule to finish off the season. They go to Arkansas, then they face Texas, Kentucky, and then go to LSU. We'll see what they can do. This team doesn't necessarily rely too much on any one major leading scorer, but they, despite that, are still 11th in the nation total offense. They're 74th in the nation total rebounding. The defensive numbers aren't incredible. That is true. We'll see what they can do here against Arkansas. I don't believe they've played the Razorbacks yet this season, so we'll see how it goes. The Razorbacks are number 20 in the nation. They're 20-7 on the year, 10-4 in SEC play. They're coming off a nice 94-86 win there over Missouri. Did not let the hangover there from that crazy overtime game against Alabama really, hang on to them. They do have a trip to Florida on deck, so definitely a look-ahead spot. They do have one of the best players in the nation, though, and Darius Acuff Jr. He's been a monster. 22.5 points per game, 50% from the field, 6.5 assists. Crazy, crazy work from him. He, to me, needs to be one of the top picks in the NBA draft. We'll see what happens. Now, this team is 8th in the nation total offense. They're not a great rebounding team, but they're very good defensively. They're 7.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 171.5. Texas A&M is 7-2 against the spread on the road, 16-11 to the over. Arkansas 10-5 against the spread at home, 14-13 to the over. This is another spot. We got a team in a massive, massive look-ahead situation with Florida on deck for Arkansas. That's got to be a little bit tough. 7.5 is not a huge number, though. Texas A&M hasn't been that crazy this year, but they also haven't been bad at all. I'm going to lean just slightly here towards the Aggies getting those 7.5 points here on the road. I'm expecting another very, very close game here, unless the Razorbacks get the benefit of a very, very nice whistle. I think this should be a one-possession game down the stretch. Next up, we're out in the Big Ten. We got the Ohio State Buckeyes heading to Iowa to take on the Hawkeyes. Now, Ohio State, They've been a little bit all over the place. They're 9-7 on the season. They're coming off a very close 66-60 loss at Michigan State. That was after their big 86-69 win over Wisconsin. They've been playing a really tough schedule. They face Michigan, USC, Virginia, Wisconsin, Michigan State. Now they play Iowa and then Purdue. Doesn't get a whole lot tougher than that. Bruce Thornton's having a good season, 20 points per game, 4 assists, 55% from the field. Very good stuff there. The Buckeyes are in the top 100 in the nation total offense. The rebounding has kind of been their Achilles heel. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them in this game. They have not played Iowa yet this season, so we'll see how that goes. The Hawkeyes, they are 19-8 on the season. They are currently sitting at 9-7 in conference play as well, so very similar stuff there. They have lost 3 out of their last 4, losing at Maryland, to Purdue, beating Nebraska, and then losing 84-71 against Wisconsin. Bennett Steers has been a monster this season, no doubt about that. This team, though, is so bad on the boards, it's a huge problem. They are great defensively, giving up only 65 per game, but you have to finish those defensive possessions with a defensive rebound, and that has been something of a struggle for them. So we'll see if they can hold together here. They are playing at home, but they're also 6.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 141.5. Ohio State is 5-4 against the spread on the road, 15-12 to the under. Iowa 9-7 against spread at home, 16-11 to the over. I got to take the points once again, guys. We're taking a crazy amount of underdogs in this one, but I just think Ohio State has what it takes to make this a very, very competitive game. Obviously, it's a bit of a bounce-back spot for Iowa, but it's a bounce-back spot here for Ohio State. They do have Purdue on deck, which is concerning, but they got to be locked in for this one. I think they make it a one-possession game. In our last college basketball game, before we hop over and look at the NBA slate, we had the DePaul Blue Demons going on the road to take on the Creighton Blue Jays. Now, DePaul, they're 14-13 on the season, 6-10 in conference play, but this program has definitely taken a big step in the right direction. They are coming off a 3-point loss against Providence, but before that, they beat Creighton by 1 and beat Seton Hall by 12, so they're putting together some good efforts. They're a very good defensive team. They don't have a monster leading scorer, and their kind of lack of pace of play leads to their offensive numbers, and their rebounding not looking great. So we'll see what they can do here at Creighton. The Blue Jays used to be a juggernaut at home. This season, not quite so much. They're 14-14 overall, 8-9 in conference play. They're coming off an 81-52 blowout loss there at the hands of St. John's. They did get that crazy win at Creighton, so, put that on the board. That's a nice resume builder, but we'll see what they can do. They do have a winnable, stretch here. They face DePaul, Providence, and Butler. We'll see what they can do. This team, not great offensively. Giving up 75.5 points per game is not very good. Their rebounding numbers are not great either, so a lot still to work on here for Creighton. We'll see what they can do. They're 4.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 140.5. DePaul is 7-2 against the spread on the road. They're 18-9 to the under. Creighton, 4-10 against the spread at home, 15-13 to the under. I do not mind under 140.5 at all in this game. I don't think we're going to see a crazy amount of offense from either team. In terms of a side, though, definitely give me DePaul here getting those 4.5 points. They've been too good on the road all season long to suddenly start fading them now. I think the under and DePaul are both great plays in this one. Now, guys, hopping over to look at a couple of the biggest games on a very short NBA slate there on Wednesday. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder going on the road to take on the Detroit Pistons. The Thunder come into this game 44-14 on the season. They're currently playing in Toronto, and somehow they are up by 20 in that game, which is absolutely bonkers level crazy to me. They're having another transcendent shooting night. They're shooting 45% from 3 despite having their backups in there with SGA and J-Dub hurt. We're seeing the Raptors shoot the ball really well from 3 as well, but it is just not enough. This is absolutely crazy. Turns out that Chet Holmgren injury news was a lie, although he's not playing particularly well. Caruso having the night of his life, more points than he has minutes played, is crazy to see from him. So another insane shooting night there from the Thunder. We'll see if they can keep that rolling. Obviously, no updated injury report, but we do know for sure that they won't have SGA or J-Dub for this game. Other than that, it's up in the air, but we know they won't have those two. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Detroit Pistons, who are 42-14 on the season. They're coming off that tough primetime 114-103 loss there against the Spurs. That was a tough situation. Turns out scoring the ball against an alien standing in the paint that's like 8 feet tall is a little bit difficult. The Pistons did what they could, though. Jalen Duren actually had a really good game, putting up 25, but it was a tough night from Cade. He's getting hounded out there by Castle, by De'Aaron Fox, by everybody that the Spurs could think of to throw at him, and the officials let this be a very, very rough game. We saw Cade only shoot 5 free throws. he got fouled an awful lot more times than that. So we'll see if the Pistons have a bounce back in them for this one. I'd be surprised if they don't. Their injury report looks pretty good. Obviously, Isaiah Stewart is still suspended, but that's almost over. And other than him, they are healthy and ready to get after it. They're 5.5-point favorites right now here at time of recording. We've got a total of 217.5. The Thunder are 14-13 against spread on the road, 1-8 against the spread, playing on no rest. And keep in mind, guys, they're playing in Toronto, and then they're going to play in Detroit, so they got to go through customs. The Pistons are 14-14 against spread at home, 9-4 this season against spread after a loss, 17-11 to the under at home. I'm slamming it here on the Pistons. This insane shooting streak is not going to continue for the Thunder. I think Detroit wins this one in a blowout. Definitely give me the Pistons here. -5.5 playing at home. And jump on this one early, guys. This line is going to move. Last but not least here, guys, we got the Boston Celtics going on the road to take on the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Celtics are going to be playing on no rest for this game. They're playing in Phoenix in a game that just tipped off a little bit ago, very early there, about not even halfway through the first quarter. So we'll see how it goes. Jaylen Brown was a kind of late scratch there, dealing with a knee issue. It appears to just be some sort of bruise, so we do expect to see him come back and play sooner rather than later. He didn't play in that game against the Suns. I do think there's a good chance we see him come back and play in this one against the Nuggets, but we'll have to update you on that later on because we don't have a whole lot of 100% clarity on that injury situation. So we'll see who the Celtics have to go out there against the Nuggets, who have been having a little bit of a rough time here down the stretch. They've struggled to stay very healthy this season. Jokic really having to try and pull his team along to wins. Their last time out, they lost at the Warriors, despite Jokic putting up a huge 35-point triple-double. The Nuggets just had no answers defensively, and I'm not going to say this name very often when I'm talking about that, but they couldn't figure out how to stop Brandon Podziemski down the stretch, guys. He ended up with 18 points against them. For the Nuggets, Jokic went nuts, 35 points, 20 boards, and 12 assists. Jamal Murray had 21, but 1 for 6 shooting night from 3. Tim Hardaway Jr. was also 1 for 6 from 3. We didn't necessarily love what we saw from Cameron Johnson either. 9 points, 1 of 7 from the field, and 0 of 4 from 3. They just got to get more from these other guys. It's absolutely nuts how many injuries the Nuggets have ended up with this season. They really, really need Aaron Gordon back, but there is no real timetable for when he's going to be back from that hamstring. That's been a huge problem. Jamal Murray and Julian Strawther are both on the injury report for this game. Murray with a hamstring is probable, and Strawther, guys, is probable as well with a left toe sprain. So they should be pretty much at full strength. They're 4.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 228.5. Boston is 19-10 against spread on the road, 6-3 against spread on no rest, 18-11 to the under on the road. Denver, 12-14 against spread at home, 13-8 against the spread after a loss, 15-11 to the over at home. Without knowing whether or not Jaylen Brown's going to play in this game, we can't give you a for sure lean, but my guess is based on this -4 spread that the odds makers don't really think he is going to play, or if he is, they're going to sit some other guys. Kind of hard to tell. We will have to wait and see a little bit, but I'm going to lean just slightly here towards the Denver Nuggets here playing at home. Guys, that's all the games we have here on a very busy Wednesday. Do me that huge favor and take that 10th of a second and hit that like button. Hopefully it brings you good luck on all of your bets. I know it'll help me get these videos promoted out there, so really appreciate everybody that does that. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Huge shout out to all the new subscribers. We're on the road to 100K. Let's help us. Let's, as a community, make that happen. I appreciate everybody watching these videos. Make sure you're getting down in the comments. Ask me anything you want down there. I'm always in those comments every single day. They come straight to my phone, so even if I'm not at the computer, I'm always seeing them. And make sure you're clicking the link in the description or in the pinned comment to get over there to stumpthespread.com. Check out all the great stuff we offer over there, especially all the free stuff, the free picks tab, the free email newsletter. Don't miss out on those. And also make sure that you are checking in and see if there's a premium package that is right for you. And guys, we'll see you all right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.